What's up, Dolphin Nation? How you doing today? Today we're gonna break down a video, but you're not gonna see a video. You're gonna see a still picture of the audio of this video. Will the Miami Dolphins team culture and overall culture change in 2025, like Mike McDaniel and other players, star players I mentioned throughout their interviews during minicamp and OTAs? This is the audio of a show from NBC and Pro Football Focus with Mike McDaniel. I'm going to slowly break it down for you guys and then go from there, guys. We're going to listen to some of it and then I'll stop it and then we'll continue.
I think there is a culture shift, and I know it. I mean,
that's true. We're talking about the culture shift, ladies and
everyone
gentlemen.
that's been here since I've gotten into the league. We always hear about, culture shift. You guys have a change of this. You guys are doing this. Always optimistic, but I really do feel in my heart that this is a change of scenery for our guys in the locker room, and then it also transitions to our coaches as well. For me, I think what's most important is, I've been here for 5 years, going on 6. Are you not tired of what we've done these past 5 years? If you are, then why aren't we doing anything about it? What do we have to change? What do we have to do to correct the navigation of where we want to go? So I would say that's what it is. And you create that standard in the locker room, the guys follow, and you got to uphold it. And so you come into work knowing that they're looking to you to uphold that standard. And if you don't, you got to have brought enough guys to uphold you to that standard as well.
That's Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa from earlier in the week at mandatory minicamp. My God, he talked so long that the position of the sun changed when we cut from one clip to the next. So,
and he looks different. Is it just me, Mike? I'm trying to figure it out. Did he lose? Did he trim? Did he trim up a little bit? Is he cut up? Is it the hair? He looks like a different guy. What is it there?
Well, remember last year he had lost so much weight. He did a public appearance, and he was with a guy in a Tua jersey, and the guy in the Tua jersey looked more like Tua than Tua did. He was unrecognizable. He had lost so much weight. I think he's put some weight on. I think the hair's different. He's got the full tats on both arms, the full sleeve, and I think he's had that for a while. But here's the thing. It feels like we hear this every year. The Dolphins are undergoing some sort of change. There's some sort of shift. There's some sort of this. There's some sort of that. At the end of the day, I want to know that they've taken to heart the criticism that has come from inside the house. When Jordan Brooks, linebacker for the Dolphins.
I agree with what Mike Flores said. They say there's culture, especially when Mike McDaniel's been here. They've been talking about culture change for a while. I do give credit to Mike McDaniel that he has helped Tua, and that nobody can take away, but Tua is still Tua. And I think Tua is bulking up a little bit in case he needs to run and dive and get contact. But the thing is, bulking up doesn't have to do anything with concussions, guys. That's just my opinion. Let's continue.
Dolphins says after a Thanksgiving night loss to the Packers in Green Bay when it was cold, and we know the narrative about the Dolphins in the cold, that they were soft on defense. That's all I care about. What are they doing to change the perception/reality? And it's hard to call it only a perception when one of the guys on the team is saying it. That makes it a reality. What are you doing to change the reality that you're physically a soft team? What are you doing?
We've heard this from multiple ex-players, and I agree with Mike Flores. They're a finesse team until they make changes, and changes on the field.
And I don't know that they've done anything. And all they've done is talk. It's talk, 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 talk. I want to see a different edge. I want to see a different attitude and I'm not saying they should start fights. I'm not saying that. But we know what their flaws are. They're a finesse team. They're not a tough team. And talking about it in June isn't going to change it for me. I got to see it in September, October, and specifically November.
Fully agreed. Their record doesn't show it under Mike McDaniel, and they're not winning big games when they count.
November and December.
You know this story even better than you think you do because it involves somebody who is on your who is a part of your favorite team, who is on the coaching staff of your favorite football team. I understand that Tua and Brian Flores didn't get along, as Tua told the world last year very definitively, hey, if your boss says you're horrible every time you come to work, are you going to feel good about yourself? And Brian Flores had to give a press conference to kind of respond to Tua's comments. So I'm not saying that Tua is asking for this now, but doesn't it sound like the Miami Dolphins need what Brian Flores was trying to give them? And maybe as a first-time head coach, he didn't do everything the right way. He didn't say everything the right way, but his intention was to take away any type of softness, any type of weakness that that he felt the Dolphins had, and to equip them where they could, hey, we can beat you in the beautiful sun of Florida, or we can go on the road. We can go to Green Bay, Pittsburgh, New York, any kind of cold weather environment and be successful.
Completely agree with that comment. I think that's what Brian Flores was trying to do, and Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer made this a complete finesse team.
That's what they're looking for. They miss what Brian Flores was trying to give them. Maybe it was too early for Flores to do it. It was too early for the team to hear it, and it was too early for Flores as a first-time head coach to deliver the message appropriately.
Well, and what we saw in Miami after he left, and this is common for many teams, the pendulum goes from one extreme to the other with the coach. If you have a coach who is kind of an old-school, hard-ass, no-nonsense, don't say a whole lot, Belichick style. I mean, after 15 years with Belichick, you can say I'm going to be my own guy. You don't realize how much you've beaten.
100% Mike Flores. I'm afraid it's going to go back to a very tough coach if everything falls off the wheels and the car goes crashing and burning this season in 2025.
I don't know how much he ultimately says, but he talks a lot. He's got a very good relationship with his players. Players coach, positive, not a lot of conflict with his players.
100%.
I mean, Tyreek Hill tells the world he wants out of Miami, and their solution is to have extensive meetings with him to get to the point where he decides he wants to stay. Other coaches are like, get the hell out if you don't want to be here. We'll move on. We want volunteers, not hostages, like Mike Tomlin would say. So I think you're right, and the problem is they overcorrected. And that's what the dysfunctional teams do. We have a coach that takes too far this way. Let's overcorrect with the next one. So now the danger is going to be if Mike McDaniel doesn't make it in Miami, they're going to overcorrect with the next one.
Agreed. Mike Tomlin is a coach with middle ground. If he has to be tough, he'll be tough. If he has to be soft and talk to different players differently, he'll talk like that. I like Mike Tomlin's style of coaching. I agree with Mike Florio.
And that's going to reintroduce Tua to the days of hard coaching. And I got no problem with Tua not responding well to hard coaching. Not every quarterback, not every player is going to respond to every coach the right way. And it's for the coach to
That's right.
modulate as needed. Best example, when Derek Carr inherited John Gruden, people that I know and trust, have known and trusted for years in the NFL said, Carr's never going to make it. He's never going to make it with Gruden. Well, to his credit, Gruden changed his approach because Gruden knew I can't be with Derek Carr the way I was with Chris Sims. Chris Sims could take it, Derek Carr can't. I got to act differently. So we'll see who the next coach is if it gets to that. But that's all the more reason that there's pressure on the Dolphins this year, because I think if it doesn't work this year, there's a very good chance they're going to have a house cleaning come 2026, because this whole, we're changing, and then the end result is always the same. At some point, ownership has got to say, we have to find a different way here.
I think they can make adjustments, Mike, but I don't think they can change. Mike McDaniel can change the culture of the Dolphins. So they've spent so much time building something that was the anti-Flores program. Brian Flores, they did all their interviews. It wasn't a fit. I remember Stephen Ross saying that in a statement, and Chris Greer, hey, we're going in a different direction. So they bring in Mike McDaniel because of what he brings, that positivity that you talked about, that community feel and empowering players. And now if you change, that kind of undermines things too. Is that really who you are? I thought you told us a few years ago that this is who you are. So I think you can make adjustments and say, hey, this is where we're weak, guys, and we need to get a little bit better. But I don't see any radical turnover working with the Dolphins. I just can't imagine how that would be successful.
I agree with Mike Florio and his co-host. I need to see it to believe it. The culture change needs to really happen. If not, if things go bad during the 2025 season, Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer will be out of town, and the whole regime will be gone. I even think Tua would be gone. Leave me your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you soon, Dolphin Nation. Take care of each other, and go Fins. Bye. Peace.